I just have a small one autograph video for you, but it is an autograph collecting milestone. And what was I gonna say? I just already forgotten. And years ago, I tried this crazy project. I dared other people to do it, and none have come close as far as I know. So, as you may know, that I collect astronauts and space-related people I collect them, and I collect them on not first day covers, event covers. Some event marking the, documenting that particular space flight event or whatever. I tried to get as many astronauts as I could. When you ran out of astronauts, you tried the ground crew, like Gene Kranz, that sort of thing, Apollo 13 people, all that stuff. And then when you run out of those people, then you try to find like a scientist who worked on the mission, or the guy who developed the rocket, or the satellite, or whatever went into space, or if he had some connection, whether he was like the head of NASA during that particular time during that flight. And I have collected signatures for all but the two shuttle tragedies that exploded. Nobody signs those. That's just their policy all around. Nobody signs the Columbia or the Challenger space shuttle missions. If you can find one, that would just be amazing. That'd probably be a signed pre-flight. But this one here is for STS-74, and I have collected, as I said, every single mission. Now, there were a few that I had to purchase because I had written to some of these astronauts 2 times. There were a few missions where people did not sign. They were either deceased or they just cannot sign for some particular reason. Many of the astronauts were overseas astronauts, and I have gotten a few of those. This one was one of my most wanted ever since I started this project, and this is none other than Canadian Space Odyssey. Well, that's what I call him because he is famous for playing that song on the International Space Station. I believe that's what it was. And this is none other than Chris Hadfield out of Canada, who's currently signing. Now, this thing almost did not get here. I'll just give you a quick look at this envelope here. This is on a Kennedy Space Center envelope from 1995. I showed you this before when I got it in. The flap was a little bit stuck there, but I was not going to worry about that. And then the envelope that came to me was completely unglued and unsealed. It was a brand new envelope. You could see it ripped right there. There was nothing protecting the autograph, nothing. The stamps weren't even canceled at all. And that to get here for all the way to Canada and back, I'm one of the few people that sends him actual Canadian stamps from the United States. I just had to use a lot of really strange amounts there, the 1s, the 5s, and I had a 32, a 39, and another 32. So that just goes to show you the persistence will pay off. Now, it took me 6 or 7 years to do that, and I was hoping that somebody else would try this with me. I see people getting a few random astronauts on photographs and here and there, but getting some sort of semi-official item from each mission was just absolutely the almost difficult thing to do was find some of these envelopes. STS-74 was a difficult envelope to find. Sometimes I'd buy the only one on eBay for $2, $3, $4, $5, and then it would disappear, and then 2 years later I'd finally find another envelope that I could send. And then sometimes 2 years later the envelope would come back. Many times I screwed up and accidentally sent the wrong envelope to the wrong astronaut, and they still signed it. And numerous things had happened, whether the envelope would come unsigned, they would get lost in the mail. So there was mission, I think 135, if I can find my envelope here. I mean, not my envelope, but my checklist here. I was hoping to show you my checklist. You've seen that before. Here's my NASA list here. Here we go. Here's this, all my notes. And here we go, STS-1 to 42. And there are 135 different listings here approximately that I had to fill. And so I had to buy at least 135 envelopes. and I had to replace probably about 50 of those at some point. Just amazing. I have all these notes here. STS 74 should be right here. I accidentally crossed it off at some point, but I wrote still need that. So I had in the works a huge video planned, a slideshow type presentation showcasing all of these from the NASA project. I've done one for all my non-space shuttle project. It just got so crazy and so confused, and so, because I even have some dual signed ones. But look for that in the future. That was the only piece of mail. Usually it's Terrible Tuesday, but I think it's Terrific Tuesday. I got the very last space astronaut I needed. Now, there are dozens of astronauts that I can still get, and dozens of space personnel, but I have, that list is shrunk so much. And I said I had to buy only 2 or 3, and I'm really pretty sure they're legitimate. They're just basically NASA officials. I think one I actually had to buy some helicopter pilots that were the rescue crew in case the shuttle, but it was connected to that mission and had markings for that on there. So if you're foolish enough to attempt this and see how that goes, there's, like I said, 135 minus the 2 that they won't sign, but I do have envelopes for them. If I can ever get my binder back in any kind of order and resurrect the video that I had started, I will show that to you within the next month or two. So thank you for watching, and I just cannot believe that I finally got Chris Hadfield. He was the one I wanted kind of the most, and he's the one I got the last. So thank you, Mr. Hadfield, and thank you for watching.
Well, between Jack's back taxes and the Fred Hayes show, I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.